everybody, welcome to Matt's Metal Show. What are we going to talk about today? Are we talking about Rush? Not really, but sort of, in a way. A couple things I want to talk about. It's kind of a loosely, I just did my show yesterday on, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Yngwie, Tony McAlpine, and Paul Gilbert, and how they're still doing instrumental albums all these years later, and yet some of them glimpsed greatness and really didn't go after it, and some of them didn't. And, so that whole episode is about that. What could have been? What should have been, right? But I was chilling yesterday, and I was listening to this interview on YouTube, and they were talking to Joe Satriani about his new album, and it was a really fun interview. Joe was sitting at home in his studio and kind of talking about the new album that he just did called Elephants of Mars. And I listened to it. It's pretty fun. Out of all those instrumental guys, Joe's probably the one that I listen to probably the most. Him and Buckethead, I don't mind listening to Buckethead. He's fucking totally insane. But I got a lot of his albums, and they're fun to listen to because they're totally fucking, they're out there. Same with Joe. Joe's usually kind of pretty much out there, but man, Joe can find a groove, and none of those other guys can really do. I even said, the Stevie Vai one, the one that just came out in Valia, it's fucking boring, dude. I was just watching a video of him where he's playing that three-headed monster, and he's basically just playing the center guitar, and then he's kind of hitting, it's like a 12-string, half-fretless guitar on top, a regular, probably 7-string, because Steve has to play 7 strings, and then a bass on the bottom. And it's not fucking awesome. But I was watching him, and I'm still just reminded of Burt Wonderstone. Hold on a second here. Gotta answer. No, I don't. The Pook just lost his tooth. He just pulled his tooth out right now, a couple minutes ago. So we're trying to figure out the whole tooth fairy thing. Kids nowadays, they get $20 for a fucking tooth. Holy shit. Tooth fairy is fucking loaded. Also, too, I was listening to this interview, and it said Joe Satriani went on the record just yesterday, I guess, because of Jason Newsted. Jason Newsted did an interview, and I guess this wasn't supposed to be public, but then Jason Newsted went and opened his big fucking mouth, so then Joe Satriani kind of had to comment on it. And basically, David Lee Roth and Alex Van Halen are behind the scenes working on a Van Halen celebration show. And they're talking to certain people, and they're talking to Joe, and Joe's actually went, and I guess they went and met and were playing together to kind of see how this would pan out. Nothing's settled. Nothing is in writing. Nothing is, we'll see if this thing gets off the ground or not. I'm sure there's going to be a divided camp, and people are, some people are going to freak the fuck out and be like, what are you doing? This is a cash grab. You're just trying to make money off of Eddie Van Halen's death and blah, blah, blah. And Joe was saying that that wasn't really the vibe that he got, and that he really wouldn't be behind something like that. His take on it, and I kind of understand it, is more, it's like a celebration of fucking Van Halen and all the fucking amazing fucking things they did. And he said it's very difficult because, I got my little Eddie Van Halen right there. And you can see it. My little Eddie Van Halen. He said that, anybody can, if you got the chops, anybody can play the stuff that Eddie played, you know, note for note. But he was like, it's not really about that. It's about tone. It's about what instrument was played through what. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different factors. We can't minimize the contribution that Eddie had, because sure, there are guys out there that are great guitar players that could play fucking Eddie Van Halen lick for lick, but it's not the same thing. One guy could play a piece of Mozart, and sure, he's playing it note for note, but if there's no soul to it, then it's really just playing notes. And Joe, being Joe, because Joe is a phenomenal fucking guitar player, he fucking is kind of like, well, you know, if this comes to, I'm going to have to do my homework and you know, got to put everything I can into this, because Joe's not that guy that's going to half-ass it. He's not going to just be up there like, you know, he's not going to do that. He's going to give you a show that Eddie Van Halen would fucking appreciate and be proud of. So that's kind of trippy. But the weird thing was, I guess they called in Jason Newsted. Now, I don't know what the deal is. Now, I know that Sammy Hagar did not leave Van Halen on good terms. Not with Alex, not with Eddie. Obviously, he's on good terms with Michael, because Michael plays with him in the Circle and Chickenfoot. So I don't know if that's a factor, because the thing is like, if you're going to have the surviving members of Van Halen, I'm not necessarily saying you need to add Sammy Hagar into it, but you need to add Michael Anthony. He's fucking alive. But I don't know if it's because Michael went with Sammy, and so there's bad blood, and they're being children. But the bottom line is, it's just like, they called Jason Newsted to come out and be a part of this thing, you know, in the early infant stages of whatever it is right now, which is an odd call. I don't really picture Jason Newsted playing fucking Van Halen. Do you? I'm like, that's kind of a head scratcher. And I guess Jason Newsted said, well, I'll consider it, but I want to fly out and play with you guys and see what is what. And so I guess he did that. He flew out here to California from wherever the fuck he lives in his palatial mansion. I think he lives in the Midwest somewhere, I want to say. And I guess they jammed together, him and Satriani and Alex and fucking David Lee Roth. And then he said, he didn't really get a good vibe out of it, so he wasn't interested. And so then he went on record on a fucking interview talking about this, which I guess it was all like, even Joe Satriani said, normally when things like this, and there's always things in the works that people never know about because it doesn't come to fruition. So usually we don't talk about it. They don't talk about what's going on, just because of the fact that this might not happen, you know. It all depends. So I guess Jason kind of broke the, I don't think they signed like non-disclosure agreements or anything, but I guess he kind of broke it. And so then Joe had to, like, you know, was asked questions about it since it was already out in the public. And Joe was real honest about it. He was just like, yeah, dude, you know, I've been talking to them for about a year. I don't really know Dave. His friend Stevie Vai obviously knows Dave. But he's definitely, like, involved with it, you know, and, you know, but he did reiterate that, you know, it's not like, it's like a celebration. It's not like a Van Halen tribute band with two members of Van Halen. It's not that kind of thing. It's more of a, hey, let's go out and play the songs, the original Van Halen stuff, and fucking celebrate. And Joe's like, I'll be celebrating along with it, because we all know, or I don't know if we all know, but Joe's a huge fucking Eddie Van Halen fan. Eddie Van Halen was one of his fucking heroes. And so, fuck, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I really don't know why they're shopping fucking Jason Newsted. It's like, dude, you know, everything is in the past is in the past. If I could call Michael Anthony up, dude, if you're going to do it, that's my only thing is if you're going to do it, call fucking, Joe plays with fucking Michael in fucking Chickenfoot. So, dude, call Michael Anthony up. You know, if you're going to do it justice, you should have Michael Anthony there. I don't know what all the details are, but it kind of seems to me like because Michael kind of sided with Sammy Hagar. And I remember when Eddie Van Halen kind of talked shit about Michael Anthony in an interview, and Sammy Hagar got super pissed, and he went on like and did a video and told Eddie Van Halen to fuck off. This was all way before Eddie died. And then once Eddie died, Sammy had been talking to Eddie before Eddie died, so they had kind of buried the hatchet, but I don't think Alex ever buried the hatchet with Sammy Hagar. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, so we'll see what happens. It's kind of odd, right? But a celebration of Van Halen with Joe Satriani. I mean, if somebody was going to do it, Joe Satriani's not a bad choice, you know. I mean, you could, Joe or Steve Vai, you know. Probably more Joe. Joe's got more feeling than Steve does. Steve's a wacko weirdo. Where Joe's a wacko weirdo, but Joe also can fucking groove. Stevie Vai can groove, but not even on the same level as fucking Joe Satriani. I'm sorry. So that's kind of a fucking weird thing, right? Jason Newsted. Jason Newsted has a bunch of money from being in Metallica, so it's not like he's like hurting for money where he's like, you know, but it just seemed an odd choice. Have you heard Jason sing backing vocals? He's like, you know, singing Creeping Death, you know, die by my hand. You know, he's not singing like fucking Michael Anthony. It's like, dude, get Michael Anthony. And I guess David Lee Roth sent a text or something like to somebody saying like, well, if we did this, like, we'd probably have like 2 guitar players and maybe Michael and somebody else, you know, to kind of just move it around a little bit. So he did mention Michael, so I don't know. Maybe Michael is in the mix. We don't know. We'll see what happens. What else we got? Oh, Bon Jovi. I'm just adding this on. And Bon Jovi's not really bad. I've never been a huge Bon Jovi fan. I remember I saw them. They opened for like Rat at like, I want to say it was like New Year's Eve 1985. Right, on the Invasion of Your Privacy tour here in San Diego. They did a fucking New Year's Eve concert, and I remember Bon Jovi opened. Met some of those guys over the year. Met Richie Sambora. He was super cool. And I remember the keyboard player David. I met him. Tico was fucking awesome. I hung out with Tico and all the other drummers. It was like Tico, Kenny Richards from Autograph, Bobby Blotzer, Greg Bissonette, I think that was it. It was like all the drummers, but Tico was super fucking nice. And I got some pictures with him way fucking back. It was like 88 or some shit. Never really been a huge Bon Jovi fan. I dig some of their stuff. I kind of saw the evolution with them. I thought their first album was crap. Except for Runaway, which wasn't even recorded with the band. It was like recorded with John Bon Jovi Jr. and like a separate band, and then it was kind of tacked onto the album. 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit. I thought that album was crap. Slippery When Wet, obviously not all the big hits. I love fucking Wanted Dead or Alive. Who doesn't? You know, it's a fucking song from my childhood. It's a fucking great song. And then kind of where they started to evolve. New Jersey was better. I thought fucking the album after that, what was that called? Keep the Faith. That was probably, to me, is probably the best Bon Jovi album that they ever made. Because that was right after like John did the Young Guns 2 soundtrack, where he actually started to become a songwriter. and it wasn't all bullshit. But he was never an amazing singer. But dude, I was, out on the internet. I guess Bon Jovi just started their tour like at the beginning of April, and people are just going fucking crazy because they're like, he can't fucking sing. And I was like, I saw a couple of snippets, bad fucking upper level on my cell phone. John's this big, noise sounds like shit. And I didn't really think anything of it. But then yesterday I saw this, it was like from New Mexico or something. I saw this fucking pretty good fucking video. I think they were in like the front row, these people that fucking filmed it. God, why is my fucking... The color is fading out of my face. It's turning red. Fucking, they were close, and they do Want a Dead or Alive. So John comes out with an acoustic guitar, and Phil X is in the band. I love Phil X. He's such a great fucking guitar player. And he's fucking crazy. Like, I met him. He's totally fun. He's playing acoustic guitar, and John's actually playing like the actual song, which is kind of a trip, because usually it was Richie, back in the day. Now Richie's been gone from fucking, Bon Jovi forever, because he was like a fucking boozer, right, or something. I don't know, whatever. He's not a good guitar player, anyways. Phil X blows him the fuck away. I'm gonna just put it out there right now. Phil X makes Richie Sambora look like me, but And so John's playing, and then he starts to sing, and I swear to God, like, it's like he had a fucking stroke or something. You gotta go look on YouTube and find that. Just look up Bon Jovi 2022 Wanted Dead or Alive and watch that. It is fucking mystifying. It's like he doesn't even know what the fuck, like, where he is, dude. And he's totally into it. He's like holding on to the mic, and the crowd is freaking the fuck out. They're like singing the song too. But John, it doesn't even make sense. It's like so bad. Like a normal person could just walk up and sing that song. It's not that intricate. It's all the same. Only the names will change. Woo. You got to add on that extra Bon Jovi kind of. But dude, he's up there. He's like, like, dude, it literally looks like he had a fucking stroke. Like, I'm like even the guys in the band are kind of looking at him, and like, Phil takes off his 12 string and he starts busting out the solo, and like, you can kind of tell the look on their face is like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, he's their bread and butter, so it's not like they're going to be like, you're out of the band. The band is called Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi. Yeah, he was making fucking Vince Neil look good. Which brings me to my next point. Here we are. It's April 20th. Oh, today's 420. For all you people that find the need to fucking smoke weed 24 hours a day. It's also Hitler's birthday, so good job. Good job, stoners. Fucking, oh, dude, 420. Well, it's Hitler's birthday. Mein Kampf, smoking weed. Motley Crue. I follow Tommy Lee on Instagram because sometimes he's funny. Most of the time, you're just like, wow, dude, what your life must be. He's always working on bonsai trees, and his wife's always filming him and saying he's gay. But they were showing like they're getting ready to go on tour. They started practicing. Last time we saw Vince Neil was a couple of months ago. Nothing has changed. He's still a whale, and he still can't sing. Still making up. He's like I said, Bon Jovi though is making him look good because at least Vince is just speaking his own language. John just looked like he was having a fucking stroke, dude. Like, or he had a stroke and they're just out there propping him up. They're like, dude, is there something physically wrong with you? But Motley Crue's going out on the road. I think some of their first dates are in June, right? So it's a couple months away. But what a fucking train wreck that will be. I will not be in attendance. You know, it's Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, cleaned up non-cocaine Poison. I don't know how good they'll be. I mean, they'd be fun just to drink beer and go, yeah, you know. And Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, right, is opening. That'd be cool. It's sad, like all these years later, Joan Jett's opening. It's like, dude, you used to be a huge star. Which brings me to my next point. One, when the fuck is the new Megadeth album? I see Dave, because I follow him on Instagram as well. He blocked me from Twitter because we got into an argument, but I watch him on Twitter. He's always Dave feels the need nowadays to like post little things like you're interested. I know he does a bunch of shit for Cameo because I guess he needs money. But last week he was like posting like, oh, I'm getting ready to leave. You know, they're at Denny's eating, and he's like, okay, we're going to, you know, start rehearsing, and the shows are going to start. And I guess they started the Metal of the Year tour. They're playing with like Lamb of God. They're kind of like co-headlining. And people keep asking him like, when the fuck is this album? This album's been done since last year. It's now April 20th. Of 2022. This album's been in the can since what, like November? Even before that, right? James Lomenzo's in the band now. They had another dude redo David Ellefson's bass parts on the album, but it wasn't James Lomenzo. It was another dude. I can't remember who it was. He just said it the other day. It's another phenomenal bass player, but he didn't want to be in the band. He just recorded the album, so they shook hand. Dave Ellison's all his shit. Re-recorded it, but that was months and months ago, and so people keep asking like, when the fuck? He even held up a poster the other day on Facebook on Instagram of the cover. I'm assuming it's the cover. The album's called The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. And I've heard little bits and snippets of songs, nothing whole. He said supposedly they're coming out with a single, but I haven't seen it, so who fucking knows? But it's slated to come out in like July or something. It's like, fuck, dude. How long does it take to fucking manufacture? Dude, I don't care about the physical copy. I really don't. Just put it out so I can fucking buy it and listen to it. And then, so I was looking, and then, like, I always get, like, updates where there's, like, oh, new tour dates. And, like, so there was these new tour dates, and I was, like, looking at it, and they're not coming to San Diego, which is weird, because Dave has ties here to San Diego. He's fucking born here, for Christ's sakes, in La Mesa. But, like, the Metal of the Year tour, not coming here. And so these later dates that are, like, more on into, like, October and shit, it's, like, they're going to, like, LA, Costa Mesa, not San Diego, Phoenix. You know? And I was looking at these dates, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck, you know? And then I was looking, and I finally realized Megadeth is the opening band. Five Finger Death Punch is the headliner. So this far into the game, Megadeth is back to being the opening band. Now, a lot of years, unless they were playing small venues, because I used to see them here they used to come here all the time. They used to play at 4th and B all the time. I've seen them like a ton of times. Of all the times that I've seen Megadeth, I saw them open for Dio. On the Dream Evil tour. So that had to be 87. So that was what? So Far So Good So What tour. I saw him open for Priest in 90. That was on the Countdown to Extinction tour. I saw them open for Heaven and Hell, and that was on the United Abominations tour. That was in 04, I want to say. So I've seen Megadeth as an opening band 3 times, and then I've seen them as a headlining band. I saw them once on the Gigantor, so they were kind of co-headlining, but they were the final band, so they were the headliners. And that was with Dream Theater. And I want to say that was on the, I think that was the second part of the, what's that fucking album called? I'm drawing a blank. I could totally picture the cover, and I'm drawing a fucking blank. I'm going to have to look it up real quick. I know I saw him on the World Needs a Hero tour in 2001, like 5 days after fucking 9/11. I did that. Remember that. That was a fucking amazing show. What in the fuck is this thing doing? It's coming to me, and as soon as I see it, I'm going to be like, you're a dumb fuck. I'm pretty sure I saw him on Endgame, too. Wah, wah, wah. The System Has Failed. So the System Has Failed. I saw them. They actually opened here in San Diego at 4th and B on that tour. The first date was here. And then later on the Gigantor, they played here again with Dream Theater. And was Lamb of God on that? Mastodon? Somebody. I know there was a bunch of bands. I went to with George, so he just wanted to see Dream Theater, and I just wanted to see Megadeth. So, what else did I see him on? Oh no, that was the Rust in Peace tour. That was the Countdown for Extinction tour. That was Rust in Peace tour that they opened for Judas Priest here on the Painkiller tour. Woo, Painkiller! So I've seen him. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 or 7 times. Yeah. So yeah, now they're opening for fucking Five Finger Death Punch, and I don't like Five Finger Death Punch. I think they're a kiddie band. They're fucking like basically just a ripoff of everything that's ever come out before, and you know, to me they're posers. And they're like, oh, we're so excited. And it's like, you're excited to be opening for Five Finger Death Punch? Jesus, Dave, that must be a blow to your ego. So I just want to get this fucking album, man. Ever since they've been talking about it, it's like, well, fuck, man. Can we get a fucking album put out in less than 12 months? I mean, it's been done at least, fuck, I want to say it's been done since like September or October of last year. I mean, fuck, dude, it's coming out like July 12th or some shit. Fuck, man. Hopefully it's stellar. I always loved new Megadeth. Except for Super Collider. Didn't really like that one. Didn't see them on that tour. I don't think they came here. But, fuck, they showed their little stage show. They got all these little, it comes in like a big box, and they just put it on stage, and it's got like the drums in the middle, and then it's got all these video screens. And I was watching some of the live stuff, because they opened in Vegas. And then I think they went to like New Mexico or some shit like that. And some, people always post that shit on YouTube. So this one was like really nice, beautiful. Fucking, they must have one of those iPhone Pro motherfuckers because it looked great, but it seemed kind of boring. I guess I'm getting old because nowadays it's like I look at it and all the comments are like, oh my God, they're so fucking amazing. It's like, dude, Dave comes out and he just got his head down. He's playing his new Gibsons. They have like Gibson fucking, he left Dean and now they're, Gibson's making his signature guitar. Looks exactly the same as the Dean except for the fucking headstock. It's a fucking Gibson headstock. But he's sitting up there. He's fucking, Dave always watches himself play, which is weird because he's been playing for 100 years. But he's like watching himself play, and he's like singing the song. And the one I saw was Hangar 18. He sounded fine, but like, dude, there's like nothing going on. Like James Lomenzo's standing over here, Kiko's over here, and then he moves over a little bit, and then he comes back over, and then can't remember who the fuck their drummer is now. I don't even know who their fucking drummer. I'll look it up. It'll be right here. It didn't look that exciting. It would just look like, they just locked onto the fucking mic stand. I've seen too much Hangar 18. I know too much. So, I was commenting on it. I was like, wow, they're an opening band. So basically you're going to get like a 45 to maybe an hour set. Probably 45 minutes. So you're just going to get 45 minutes of the hits. So what are they going to do? They're going to play fucking She-Wolf. They'll play, fucking Hangar 18. Maybe Tornado of Souls. They'll play Sweating Bullets. They'll play Symphony of Destruction. I mean, they don't do Anarchy anymore. So, maybe Hook and Mouth. I doubt it. I mean, if their set list is cut down to an opening band, what are you going to see? Maybe a couple new songs? I don't know. But it seems kind of like, wow, what a waste. I was kind of glad they're not coming to San Diego, so then I don't have that dilemma where I'm like, I kind of want to see Megadeth, but nah. Five Finger Death Punch. I can't even imagine the people that would be all totally into that. I'd probably want to punch them in the fucking face. Yeah, there we go. Whoa. I talked about the other day, and I'll talk about it again, because I kind of wanted to bring up, I didn't realize, I kind of missed stuff from here and there and everywhere. The other day I was like stumbling upon stuff. I was on Amazon listening to shit, and because I have like the Amazon Music, so I can listen to like one of 800 million albums. And I didn't realize that the 40th anniversary of Blizzard of Oz had come out. It was probably last year, right? Or 2 years ago. I don't know. I mean, the original album came out in 80, so yeah, it would have been 2 years ago. And I had like the last one that they did, like the deluxe one, where they put the little Randy Rhoads thing at the end, and then they put Goodbye to Romance, and it's just Ozzy's vocals and Randy's guitar. But the rest of the album been remastered with Bob and Lee safely on the fucking album, so we don't have to deal with that fucking bullshit. But I saw this 40th anniversary edition, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, oh, it's got this fucking live show, and it had You Said It All on it. And I was like, well, I'm getting You Said It All. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, it's got like a Blizzard of Oz show. That's cool. And I went to download it, and then as I was listening to it, I was like, because a lot of these, like with the Rush, the moving pictures remaster, I kind of love that these bands, these legacy bands, are celebrating the anniversaries of these albums, and they're putting on like a live show from that, that era. On the Blizzard of Oz tour, like, Motorhead opened. I remember that, right? Motorhead opened, but they were playing small theaters and stuff. So, I don't know how long the set list was, especially on the Blizzard of Oz tour, because they really have a lot of material to pull from. They had one album, and then, of course, like, Children of the Grave, Iron Man, and Paranoid. Ozzy's 3 Sabbath songs that they would, do. But, so the Blizzard of Oz one, Were they opening for somebody? I don't think they were. I'm pretty sure. Like I know they played the Fox Theater down here, and Motorhead opened for them. And then when they came on the Diary of a Madman tour, you know, they had their full set because they had 2 albums to fucking pull from, and then the 3 Sabbath songs, and which is what ended up on Tribute. Now, when the Diary of a Madman Legacy Edition came out a couple of years ago, they put on a whole fucking show from the Blizzard of Oz tour with Diary of a Madman songs that, you know, so it was towards the end and they had already put, you know, Diary was in the can. And so they actually played like 3 songs off Diary of a Madman, which was what? Over the Mountain, Flying High Again, and Believer, I want to say. I could be right. I'm probably right. So when I saw this thing, I didn't download the rest of the album. I only downloaded the live shit because there's not much more that you can remaster. The shit's been remastered like 5 fucking times now. It's like, dude, how much of a fucking decimal, you know, can you get a little higher when you remaster shit? Like I was talking about the other, you know, when I got the remaster for the Black album from Metallica, it was like, it sounded exactly like the old album. Like I kind of played them next to each other just to see, and it's like it was exactly the same because that album was digitally done. It was superior when it came out, so there's not much room for. I mean, you can make it louder and then compress it and make it sound shitty, but so I didn't really get the songs from Blizzard of Oz. I got that. But I was interested in this live show, especially because it had You Said It All on there. We all know, do we? Some of us do. You Said It All was that one song. It was on the Mr. Crowley picture disc. It was on the Ozzy Live EP that came out in between Diary and Blizzard. And it had 3 songs on it. It was a live show from Southampton in 1980 with the original Blizzard of Oz, Bob Daisley, Lee Kershake, Randy Rhoads, and Ozzy. And it had Mr. Crowley. It had a condensed version of Suicide Solution without Randy solo in it. And then it had this song called You Said It All. You said it all. You got to wait. And it never appeared on anything else after that. It was just this live version. They never played it at another gig. They only played it at this one fucking show. Because I used to have like the Manchester show from 1980. It was a bootleg that I got from Matt, the Metal God, when I was in high school. And that had You Looking at Me live. You looking at me, looking at you. I want to talk to you. But it didn't have You Said It All. You Said It All was at this one show. And then if you kind of look at it, I guess Jet Records was like, dude, you need to go back in the studio and like do this thing because we're going to do another single off the album. We need another B-side for a single. So they went and like got this song together. And I guess Lee actually sang the vocals, I want to say. You want to come show that your tooth is missing? And they said Ozzy was passed out underneath the drum riser, like drunk, sleeping. Come show us your missing teeth. This is Pook. You guys all remember Pook. His tooth is gone. Ripped it right out. Showed it to me. He's like, here you go. And I was like, ah. All right. The tooth fairy is coming. So apparently when they fleshed this song out, it was just Bob Lee and Randy fleshed this song out, wrote the lyrics. I guess, like I said, I guess Lee was singing the song. And then I guess they went out and performed it live at that one gig. They recorded it. They put it out on the little EP. And it was never seen again. And it's never been remastered. It's never been out on anything. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, I definitely got to get that. But as I realized while I was going through the live shit, I was like, wait a second. This is the same fucking show from the Legacy edition of fucking Diary of a Madman. It's the exact same show. And I was like, what the fuck? And that pissed me off. I got used to it also. I was happy about that. And it's totally isolated. It's like its own track. And it doesn't sound like they did a whole bunch to it, but at least they put it out on CD, you know. But it doesn't sound like totally shitty. Because the old version that I had a bunch of hisses and pops in it because it was recorded off the fucking album. Because that was the only thing it ever came out on. It was never on cassette. It was never on anything but that fucking Ozzy Live EP, Mr. Crowley picture disc. Same. It was the same thing, just two formats. So I got that, but then, yeah, I realized, wow. So Ozzy and Sharon, once again, you know, they're telling you like, oh, here you go. And that's the thing that pisses me off. When you're redoing these albums, even if it's technical ecstasy, they put on a fucking live show on it, so it's worth it, right? If you want to hear the live set from the Technical Ecstasy tour. I fucking love the one from fucking Sabotage. I love the ones from Paranoid. Trying to remember the Volume 4 one. I think that was amazing too. It's cool to get these like snapshots, but why would you put, basically what they did is they took the 3 Diary of a Madman songs off of it and made it look like, oh, well, this was a fucking live show from the Blizzard of Oz tour. Well, no shit it is, but it's the same fucking live show that you already put out. So what a waste of a couple bucks for me. I was kind of pissed, but I'm like, whatever. Ozzy's toting his new album already, and we don't know what it's called yet. And I can tell you I'm not looking forward to it. I wasn't looking forward to Ordinary Man. I thought Ozzy was dead already. You know, after Scream in 2010, I was like, okay. Remember I got Ordinary Man because I like 2 songs, the 2 singles, the 2 first singles. Went Straight to Hell and Under the Graveyard. I thought, those are cool. And then I got the album and I was like, wow, what a pile of shit. Fucking Andrew Watt. Go back to Miley Cyrus, dude. You don't need to be on an Ozzy album. I'm just waiting to see how much Zach is actually on this album. Because supposedly Zach is actually the guitar player on here. And Andrew Watt's just producing, which is where he should be. But we'll see. It's funny to see all these pictures. I guess Ozzy finally started dyeing his hair again now the pandemic, you know, was reeled back. Because you saw all those pictures where Ozzy had like just white hair. Because he's an old man. So now he decided he only kept this much white and the rest is brown. You're just like, okay. And he's trying to look all evil. And it's like, dude, we've seen the feeble-ass pictures of you in normal life. It's so funny now when you kind of like, you see people as they really are, and then you see people like posing with Ross Halfland taking pictures. It's like completely night and day. It's like, oh, Ozzy looks coherent, but he's not. He's like a feeble old dude. He's got a cane. He's all fucked up. And you're like, And then I saw that they pushed the No More Tours tour back to like 2023? Ozzy's gonna be fucking dead before he ever goes back out on tour. Jesus Christ. I saw he's doing like the O2 Arena with Judas Priest, and it's in like July of 2023. Time is ticking away. Right, Pooh? Alright, what else are we going to talk about here? My buddy Jeremy the other day sent me this fucking album, and I didn't realize what it was until I started listening to it. There's an album called Dream Window, and it's by this mythical band called Dream Window. What are you looking at? That's my Eddie. Bring my Eddie Van Halen over here. I want to show the world. No, that's Diary of a Madman. Oh, that's pretty cool too. Let me see this. Yeah! The official Eddie Van Halen. Isn't that fucking cool? You can bring me that Diary of a Madman one. Let me see that. You gotta add more toys to the... This is cool, right?
And it's a little broken.
It is a little broken. It came with a crack in it, fuckers.
But it's okay.
It's okay, because I just wanted that Funko of Ozzy on the Diary of Madman cover. It's amazing.
But it's glued on, so I can't get it out.
Yeah. Bummer, right?
I wish it would let you take it out.
That would be hot, because I would just ditch this and just have the little figure. You can put that back. I ordered this. It was supposed to be coming out like last year in the middle of the year or something, and I pre-ordered it. It was like $12. It was cheap. And then all of a sudden it disappeared, because, you know, they're having all these issues, especially Funko Pop, because everything comes from China, and they're having all these trade issues and bullshit. So, like, all of a sudden one day I just got a refund, and it was like it never came out. And then I was like mystified, and it was funny because people were selling it, but it wasn't real because nobody got it because it never came out. And then I was like, fuck. And then like the other day I was looking and I was like, there it is. And so I fucking ordered it and I got it. Of course it comes cracked, but I don't care. At least I got it. But this Eddie Van Halen one, I saw Wolfgang. They got with him and asked him if they could do that, and it's freaking awesome. You could put. What are you doing? Are you doing metal signs behind me? Keeping the Eddie Van Halen alive, with a little Funko Pop. Anyways, I got this album called Dream Widow, and my buddy Jeremy just sent it to me, so I started listening to it, and it's like, the first song, Encino, is just heavy fucking, like, thrash metal song, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And come to find out, it's actually the Foo Fighters. This is like Taylor Hawkins' last album, right? Yeah. It's like the Foo Fighters, and it's from their movie, like, Studio 666. Their last album, they recorded in this house in Encino, and supposedly the house was, like, totally haunted, and they had all this weird, crazy shit happen. So they ended up, like, making a movie, like a horror movie about it, kind of, and they came up with this fictitious band called Dream Widow. So Jeremy sent me this album, and I started listening to it, and then I finally figured out what the fuck it was, because he's all, dude, I don't know why, but I actually like this, and I was like, I was checking it out, fucking listening to it. There's a song called Cold, which is the second song. It's actually really good. March of the Insane, The Sweet Abyss. It's like a thrash metal album by the Foo Fighters. It's fucking cool as shit. I started listening to it, and then at first I was like, this is really my cup of tea. But then it got a little bit more coherent as I listened to it, and then I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And I actually spun it a couple times. Some great playing on here. Angel with the Severed Wings. Becoming Lacrimus de Ebrius. So it's an album about Satan, right? Satan!
666.
Oh! Ah! If you want to listen to a fun album, that's a fun album to listen to. It's just a little one-off that they did. And like I said, it's Taylor Hawkins' last fucking album. Well, the new Ozzy album he plays on, I think. But definitely check that out. The other one that I picked up that I saw, and it actually came out in 2020. I just wasn't aware of it. There's this album called Jazz Sabbath. It's a bunch of jazz guys, and they play Black Sabbath songs. They do Fairies Wear Boots. They do Evil Woman. They do Rat Salad, Iron Man, Hand of Doom, Changes, and Children of the Grave. It's called Jazz Sabbath. It's kind of fun, man. Sometimes it's a trip to listen to other bands play these staple songs in a different genre. It's kind of cool. Kind of weird, but kind of cool. Oh, man. And then the last thing I want to talk about, I saw the other day that Alex Lifeson's new band, or project, I don't know what it is, if it's a band or a project, but Oh, yeah. The band is called Envy of None. And the album is just eponymous. It's called Envy of None. Came out on April 7th of 2022. It's got this chick singer named Mariah Wynn. It's got Andy Curran plays bass on it. He's played Connie Hatch like back in the 80s. I think he did like 3 albums with them. It's got Alex on guitar. It's also got another guy named Alfio Annabellini that plays guitar and keyboards on it. And then like a slew of drummers. It also has Jonathan Dinklage, which is the violin player on the Rush 40 tour, who played Losing It. It's also Peter Dinklage's brother. And no, he is not a dwarf. Are you whispering 666 to me? Oh my god! I think you made the collar go out of the freaking thing. Wow. So I listened to this morning. And I was like, let's see what Alex Lifeson's up to. Now, I don't know if any of you ever went and listened to Victor. That was Alex's other solo album from years ago. What year did that come out? I don't even know. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Victor. That's Alex texted me to tell me what year it came out. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe a do. If you ever listen to Victor, you'll be pleasantly shocked. Pleasantly shocked by it. Because, wow. What year did that come out? 1996. Alex Lifeson. Victor. Listen to that fucking album. Ooh. So, obviously I love Rush. Victor kind of reminded me of like Geddy's album, like My Favorite Headache, right? It wasn't Rush. Geddy's album was a little closer to Rush. Victor kind of made you think Alex Lifeson was a serial killer when you listened to it. So Envy of None, it just came out the other day, or like a week, 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago, tomorrow. I'll put the album cover up here. So I started listening to it. It has a bunch of drummers on it. Apparently they don't own a drummer, so there's like 6 guys that play drums on this album. I started listening to it, and the first single is called Liar, and the second single, they already have a second single out. It's called Look Inside. If you like just came off of Moving Pictures and then you go into this album, you will not be pleasantly surprised. Like, it is fucking weird. The chick that sings, Mariah Wynn, she sounds like Lana Del Rey. She sings like this, and it's a fucking bummer. It's very electronic, very fucking weird. There's some cool guitar riffs in, like Spy House had kind of a cool riff. It's kind of buried underneath the electronicness of this album. And there's a song called Enemy that was kind of cool, but most of this is mystifying. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of old Rush because, you know, the 20th or 40th anniversary of Moving Pictures came out, so I was listening to live shows and stuff, and then I was watching this one guy like break down Xanadu. He said Xanadu was the most inspired piece of work that Rush ever did. And when you listen to Xanadu, when you break it down, you're like, holy shit. Because Xanadu they came into the studio, they played one run through to get all the levels for all the miking and stuff correct. And then they played it a second time, and that was the take that went on the fucking album. So the first run through was just to kind of get all the devices set correctly, and then the second run through was what went on the album. And when you listen to the intricacies of that fucking song, you're like, holy shit. The guy who played on this album, which is fucking mystifying. You're like, wow. Now, Alex obviously is not going to play shit like Rush because Alex was a part of Rush, 1/3 of Rush. Him and Geddy wrote all the music while Neil wrote all the lyrics, mostly. I think Alex wrote one song by himself. What song was it? I will tell you right now. I have to look at the album because, yeah, it was Lessons. Right? It was Lessons from 2112. Alex actually wrote that whole song, lyrics and all. Not your favorite Rush song, is it? This album is a trip, man. I listened to it and it was so fucking depressing. It was literally like listening to Billie Eilish. It was like listening to fucking Lana Del Rey. This chick that sings, Jesus Christ, man, here's some fucking antidepressants. Why do you bubble up a little bit? Jesus, do some cocaine, for Christ's sakes. Definitely, obviously, it's not a metal album. It's not a hard rock album. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I listened to it all the way through. And after a while, man, I started to like lose consciousness. Liar's okay. It's a cool song. Look Inside. Like I said, I like the riff from Spy House. And Enemy was kind of fun. But other than that, man, this album's a bummer. And it just kind of makes you wonder. But then again, hey, Alex is doing something. You know, Rush is dead, and Neil is dead, and Geddy's off touring his bass book. So, there you have it. Envy of none. And definitely it is the envy of none. You know? That's about all I got for today. Everybody stay metal out there. Go listen to Envy of None and tell me what you think about it. Because like there's not a lot of guitar on it. And I don't know if I was expecting that. I don't know if I was like, oh, Alex is going to be wailing. Not really. It's like very electronic. You know. Whoa. So everybody stay metal. I'll see you guys.